Okay, awesome. So most project management looks like this. And especially in this guy's case, who's like vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3, and then a whole bunch of columns like this. This is like what I like to think of as like tabular project management, where he has something like price, specs, and then like proposal or something like that. And then what he's doing on all of these is like putting in the different numbers, and then putting in the specs. So this is 10, this is for 2, and then proposal, check, check. Okay, we have a proposal in 3, but we don't have a price and specs. So this is how he would determine like percent complete is on like a combination of, okay, this is 100%, this is 100%, and this is 33%. And then he adds all of those up. So it's 9. So he's, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's 7/9 through the project based on this. And that's how he's currently tracking.
Is he using anything else, or is he just using spreadsheets? Oh, Excel. Okay.
So when people are trying to move from Excel, when they're thinking about projects like this, AffinityLive just wants that straight up not going to work.
Because it's more, AffinityLive's more like time tracking. It's more more data, and his seems pretty simple, right?
It's simple, but we can't do it. It's just as like what he's trying to keep track of is like information that happens to be linked to a project. Where what we do is we track like doing things and building something. Another example of people are like event planners. They're coming from this tabular idea of project management, where they're actually literally trying to manage a whole bunch of data pieces. Where AffinityLive projects, what they're trying to manage is a whole bunch of budgets. So we have like budgets filling up, and what they care about is dollars and time.
Budgets, okay, so dollars. Okay.
And they're going through this like the Gantt chart, and they're measuring
the Gantt chart, got it.
Budget. Oh shoot, we're over budget. Like that's the problem. That's what we're trying to manage. And what's in here, like if you open this up, is a whole bunch of people like developing and designing and like client communication and discovery and all these small little things that they're doing to build up to this.
And the client communications, the client can log in and they can track their specific projects kind of progression too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like how things are moving along in this bigger thing. So the type of words that we're looking for these type of projects is website, implementation, consulting, usually with some sort of report at the end. And then for accounting, it would be like onboarding. Which onboarding is actually a little bit more like this sort of project management where they're like, we need logins, we need all your general ledger codes, we need this. It's sort of a checklist, task-based.
Got it.
Versus.
So how does AffinityLive fit in for like the engineering type of projects? I see a lot of like, you know, industrial engineering people come in, and I've been marking them as a go or as qualified because I just see it on the industry thing, but I'm kind of curious how they fit in. Do they use Gantt charts and stuff, or do they typically go more towards the Excel stuff too? I feel like they would use that. Okay.
So over here, what we have is we have architects, really accountants, but accountants love our retainers, so they like get over the fact that our projects don't fit very well. Engineers, and then on this side we have digital agencies, IT consulting. Because what they're doing is trying to keep track of this overall thing that they're building, or what they're doing over here is keeping track of all of these little components and specs.
The little check marks.
Specs would be a really good way to think of that sort of project. And Excel does a really good job of that. I haven't figured out anything that replaces it on a high level.
What was that guy's name that you met with today, just so I can kind of...
Greg from Cloudify.
Greg, okay.
All right.
So, having said all that, if I notice something similar come in, do you want me to still throw it into group qualified, or should I just kind of give them a call and try and see what I can do?
Try to be qualified at the same time.
Okay. And that would be so how are you managing your projects right now? Can you give me an idea of the layout of, if you're using Excel spreadsheets, what does it look like? What, what are your check marks, or what does that kind of sound right? The kind of communication.
These guys' Excel spreadsheet would look something like this. Would look like design on a high level, and then they would put mock-ups, wireframes, and then some sort of HTML bone structure.
So
and then they would either put people on the top of these columns, or they would just start logging time against it. Or they would have a process where it's client review, number 1, number 2, number 3, and that's how they would track the project in Excel, which looks dangerously close to the way that a Gantt chart is set up with a milestone and tasks that fall underneath, and some sort of time base tracking both on the hours and the dollar amounts, and when you're actually delivering it. So taking that Excel structure and moving it into a Gantt chart is great, because they don't have to update all these little times and dates when things shift and move around, because we have a Gantt chart structure.
Got it.
For the overall waterfall approach.
Mm-hmm. So when I'm talking to somebody, or if I go on their LinkedIn or something, if I see these words like high-level design, mock-ups, wireframes, HTML bone structure, those are good key terms to look for to be okay, they are qualified, right? Yeah, so that's actually a really good point. Let's look at this, guys, now. I'm gonna stop the recording.